Hi, welcome to Focus on Management for the Virtual Channel Network. I'm Stephen Nash, Head of Arts and Letters Entertainment. I'm a talent manager and producer, and I'm happy to be here to talk about professional talent management.
How did you get involved in the entertainment industry?
I started at age 5 in the Midwest, following in my older sister's footsteps, and I was doing theater. I was in a professional children's choir and started doing television. And then as a teen moved to New York, studied with the great Stella Adler, and started doing commercials and movies and off-Broadway. And I moved away from acting. I started to be too baby-faced to play my age as I moved into my 20s, but next to a real 16-year-old on camera, I looked a little too old, and I moved towards coaching actors and directing. My coaching career took off. I was thanked by one of my clients in a national magazine, and then through a fluke, I had one more acting job. I starred in a Broadway musical that toured Europe, playing the comedy guy. And I quit the show at Paris because I was offered a job as an acting coach in a CBS TV series out in Los Angeles, and that brought me here. And over time, I found more and more I was career counseling as well as coaching. And I decided that talent management brought all my skills and interests together, and I became a talent manager.
How does your background as an actor inform how you work with your clients?
Well, I think that's what I bring to the table that's a little unique. I've studied with the greats of the 20th century in terms of acting, the different vocabularies and language. I understand the creative process. I understand how actors work, whether they're doing method or what's so-called Meisner technique. And I am very adept at interpreting material, finding the dramatic arc, the character arc, and being able to communicate that in a actable way with my students and clients. So I've been there, and I understand it from different points of view. And so I find that every actor works differently, and being sensitive to what's right for them is the greatest help.
What do you look for in an actor you're interested in representing?
Sometimes it's just a feeling, but certainly I have to feel that they're marketable in Hollywood today. The talent factor is something that is important, but if I can't sell them, that's my job description, to develop a career, to be able to help them achieve material and artistic goals. So I have to feel that there's a place for them in the business right now. Certainly how they communicate, how they listen, whether I feel that there's a connection between us, because my mentor from long ago when I went into management, Bernie Brillstein, said to me, if somebody can't be managed, if they won't listen, it doesn't matter their potential, you can't manage them.
What advice do you have for newer actors looking to advance their careers?
I think that today it's very hard to break in for a variety of reasons, but harder than when I was an actor. The competition has gone through the roof. And today, the little jobs that used to fuel and feed a young career are, to a certain extent, going to people who are very established. You can find people who did a series 7 years ago who'll take a co-star on a nice show on Nickelodeon. So the competition has gone to a different place. So you need to find within yourself what is right for you, your unique edge. And you need to lean into it. I call that image definition, identifying it and working with it. The pioneer, the master of that is Sam Christensen. And while you would hope and believe that you're judged whether you're right for a part based on the audition, it's about a lot of things besides that often in Hollywood. they want to feel you are the real thing for that character. So understanding yourself and making a fine edge of who you feel you are, who you believe you are, who you want to show to the world is part of the management process, whether the actor's doing it for themselves or with a professional.
What are your thoughts on managers and agents working together cohesively?
Most agents today recognize that a professional talent manager, the one who knows what they're doing, is going to add value, is going to be the problem solver, is going to be close to the actor, helping them to find what they need to do what they need to do, and to be ready to deliver when they have to. So the agents I work with are kind of wonderful because we understand that we're both there to accomplish something for our client. I tell my agents, the client signed with an agent yesterday, and I said what I believe, and that is I'm there to support what they're doing, and I'm there to solve problems. And I support the agent very much. And certainly when there's a full communication, it's to everyone's benefit. Obviously, everyone has their own set of tight relationships with casting and production, and on certain key potential opportunities, by communicating, we can make a plan. I remember a client had his big breakthrough from doing co-stars to starring with Bruce Willis, main title credits in a feature film. And that circumstance was because me and the agent had strong communication, and we were able to efficiently figure out who knew who and who was going to approach which direction to get him approved for a studio picture. Because that's hard. Whether it's television or a movie, if the director wants you or the producer wants you, they still have to go to the person above them, the network, the studio, and get that actor network studio approved. And that's a whole different ballgame. So we worked together, and we beat the odds. And there he was starring with Bruce Willis, his first movie. It was good.
Besides having a great audition, what are some other factors in an actor getting a part?
In some ways, it's an abstraction as to how and why people break through, and suddenly their talent is appreciated. Certainly in the short term, I believe that casting is first going to call in people that they know or they have a relationship with the rep, because they have to work efficiently, especially for television, and they have to deliver a choice to their employer, the producer. In television, the producer is the writer generally, and they have to work efficiently. So they're, of course, going to embrace known quantities. Now, every casting director, loves discovering talent, but they still have to deliver talent that they can rely on to deliver when it's shown to the people that they're working for. So I find that if the actor has a strong, specific edge, even if it's defined differently by different people, that can get casting attention. The casting associate may be doing the first pass. And as you know, when there's electronic submissions, the casting is not studying your face all large on the screen. They're looking at lots of little thumbnails, bam, 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 bam. And something pops out. Why does it pop out? I mean, there's things you can do technically, graphically, but certainly I've heard many a time when I've been in casting, someone say, we don't have one of those. Let's throw that into the mix. And that's how people sometimes get that opportunity. If you're just nice in your picture and your marketing tool, that worked back when I was an actor, but today it's not enough most of the time.
How do you feel about actors creating their own content?
Okay, creating your own content is essential going into the future. Essential. Certainly because the cost of technology has plummeted, it's within most people's reach to create their own opportunities, and it's crucial. I always feel these days that I'm approaching the management of my client from two different directions. One is what I call the 20th century model. We're promoting the actor, we're trying to help them get into the audition, to build the career so the phone will ring. And that I call the 20th century model. Meanwhile, in the 21st century, we're developing our own materials for lots of reasons, because it's doable. And you're developing ideas, you're promoting yourself, you're showing yourself to the world, and that is a way to get attention. And that is a way to create a property that perhaps has a value beyond just marketing. So you've got to do that. I've had great success working with social media, and I intend to get more success. We're certainly seeing commonly now, as opposed to rare, people working in social media who are making real money, whether it's 500 a week or six figures. And this is only going to grow as television and internet merge into one thing. So I develop many ideas with my clients, and we put it up. And at the same time, I've been meeting with the new field of reps that monetize, that bring sponsors and money and product placement to social media product. And that is the future.
What's your opinion on whether or not an actor should hire a publicist?
That's a good question. I think when you have something to publicize, it's essential that you go for it, or the old expression, make hay while the sun shines. You really need to jump on board. I remember a client had a character arc on a big soap opera, and the network publicity department said, "You don't need a publicist. We'll take care of everything." Well, no, not really. And I still said to my client, "Go ahead and spend the money." But he felt he didn't want to offend their publicity department. And the bottom line is, he was so big in that period that he was getting recognized everywhere. But if he had had a publicist, it would have magnified that exponentially. Now, when you hire a publicist, it's again an abstraction. You may have nothing physical to show for it. You're putting it out there, so you have to be ready to trust the universe and let it happen, because you may not get instant results. Why? I got in that museum and I got the offer for the movie. Publicity is extremely important. You certainly don't want a publicist if you don't have something to publicize, because you're wasting your money. So until then, you, the actor, and your manager, if he knows what he's doing, are being the publicist. And it's crucially important, even though you have to do a lot of it on faith, that it's going to reach your audience. Your audience in those terms, meaning whether fans or people who will hire you. I think publicity is great, and I'm always looking for ways to publicize my clients that may be unusual and not expensive, just kind of fun. And I use every single method, the old-fashioned methods of the postcard, and I really believe in publicity.
Tell us about your project, Rich Kids.
That began as a web series. We were playing with an idea. No budget at all. I think in a dozen episodes, I think I spent $20, and a lot of it shot around my home. And the fourth episode, it went viral. In a weekend, we got over 700,000 hits. And that never happened to me before. And the project is built, and now there's a feature film in development. And certainly, I think we've topped 2 million hits on that thing. And I'm also I'm developing other projects now. I'm working on one for my client Caleb, who right now is shooting a pilot on Nickelodeon, and then goes on to star in a movie. But we're not going to wait for superstardom to fall on us. We're developing at the same time a web series for him, and it will cross-promote, because here, there, here, there. Will the Nickelodeon series get greenlit, meaning go into full production? I think it will. But we're not going to wait and see. We're continuing to think about the next quarter and what we're going to be doing proactive that we can do.
How do you feel about the nature of modern Hollywood's immediacy?
Well, that's an interesting question, both generally and with Caleb. I mean, Caleb, I discovered him working at a Coffee Bean, and there was something about him that just caught my attention. There was a presence, and so we got to know each other, and we chatted for about 6 months before I signed him. And without any acting classes, he booked his first audition, which was a film with a principal role. So he's gone on to study, but he's not an overnight success, even though he booked that first job. After a couple years, things are starting to take off in a big way. And it's all very wonderful. And we've been preparing for it every day since we began working together for this to be going on, for shooting one thing by day, prepping something by night. He's ready for it. He's an athlete in that respect as an actor. He's ready for it. In terms of how fast the industry goes, it goes so fast, it's astonishing. I used to expect to have a couple days' notice of an important audition. With the internet, it can happen like that. And it could be Sunday night at 11 o'clock, and bam, there's a major audition the next day. It's going really fast. So the actor's ability to be comfortable working at that pace, cold reading audition skills, is crucial. Would a classically trained actor like to explore the character and feel it and let it unfold within his talent and his inspiration? Absolutely. But in Hollywood, you also need to be able to go bam and arrive at a professional performance that says, this is me. And it's hard because things are going faster and faster. And the other thing that is hard is when I was an actor, I had a lot of auditions. This was in New York, where you could jump around on subways and do many things and go to class and go to your day job and go to different auditions. But until somebody gets hot, the number of auditions tends to be far lower than when I was out there. And so it's hard to stay ready to do your peak performance without proper warm-ups. So it's on the actor to stay disciplined and be working out on a regular basis so they're ready when that opportunity pops. Or they're suddenly out of nowhere, they've lucked into that audition for the pilot, and they're warming up their acting instrument at the audition, which of course is not the best advantage.
Please tell us about the Talent Managers Association.
Well, yeah, I'm the former two-term president of the Talent Managers Association, and now I'm on the board. And the Talent Managers Association, formed in 1954, is dedicated to ethics and professionalism in the field of talent management and service to the acting community, the entertainment community, as well as the world around us. And certainly anyone who's a member of the Talent Managers Association, and it's only the portion of managers who want to make that kind of commitment, are adhering to a very strict ethical parameter, or else they're told to leave. So that can be a good pre-screener if you're looking to take meetings with managers.
Can you talk a little about your coaching?
I've been an acting coach for a very long time. Certainly, the beginning of my coaching career in New York was, I was kind of lucky because my acting agent, asked me to coach a model who had booked a movie and she didn't know how to act. And then she later thanked me in a national magazine, so suddenly I was a hot acting coach. But I love teaching, and I get a lot of satisfaction from it. So I certainly work with my clients, and as is the ethical parameter of the Talent Managers Association, I do not charge my clients anything for services such as coaching. I work only on commission, but like other coaching professionals, I do work with non-clients, both as with career counseling as well as coaching. And I'm also starting to work with managers to coach them on building their career. Occasionally I'll teach a one-day workshop, but I've done so much time answering questions and problem solving that I decided to make more formal arrangements, which young managers appreciate, because then they're not calling for a favor. We're doing a professional transaction, and I just love teaching and sharing what I've learned from my creative development as well as the hard way as to how things work, nuances to look for that could lead to trouble. I feel that talent management is an artistic process, and certainly I try to instill that when I am coaching people.
What's the best way for an actor to get on your radar?
Well, sometimes it just falls on me. I was on set this morning, and the one of the other stars approached me, and I don't think I'm going to take a meeting because he has a manager, and I'm uncomfortable with that dynamic. But I told him if a time comes where he's shopping managers, I would certainly talk to him. I meet people many different ways. I'm going to a showcase tomorrow night. I certainly go to theater in Los Angeles, the small theaters. I am happy to take submissions. Info, I-N-F-O, at artsandlettersmanagement.com. Letters is plural. And I will take submissions. I don't like somebody who's following up. Did you get it? Did you get it? Did you get it? I know your career is important and follow-up's important, but I can only respond when I feel there's something for us to talk about. I get hundreds of submissions, but sometimes you discover someone wonderful. One of my hot clients, he just submitted to me, and there was something about his cover letter which was evocative and to the point, and then I looked at his material, and the type was clear, military detective, hot daddy, and so we took a meeting, and it's been wonderful. He's also a writer. We have done some really nice writing deals together, and he's a working actor. So that came from a cold submission. So I'm very happy to see that. If I were to say the main place where I find people is from referrals, and so it could happen anyway. Also, sometimes I will go to acting schools across the country, modeling schools, and sometimes find wonderful people there.
Any other words of advice?
I'd like to say that pursuing acting in Hollywood is hard. There's a lot of illogical things that happen. There's a lot of uncertainty. So you really need to love acting, or else don't do it. You can have a life in Hollywood, in creativity, and not be an actor. There's many other things to do. If you want to be an actor, you have to love it, or else don't do it, or stay in your hometown and be an artist there. But pursuing the business in Hollywood is its own animal, and it's tough. So you really need to love your art. Thank you for joining us. You're the type of actor that I look for because you're here now looking to learn things. And that's a recipe for success. Thank you.